Hey everybody, it is Thursday the 29th, and we are going to take notes on our next unit. So what you need to do is make a page in your composition book, label it Unit 2, and have that as a cover page, and then turn the page, and then label it for the notes for today. Now this is a concept that you guys worked on last year, as I said in class, graphing linear equations, but we will take it a step further as we go through the unit. Okay, so really what we're doing tonight is just to dust the cobwebs off. Okay, so label it graphing linear equations. Okay, make sure you're taking these notes in your composition book, and then you were to pick up a piece of graph paper that looks like this that you'll use to graph your equations on. Well, example number 1, y is equal to 2x plus 4. Okay. As you know, this is written in slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to 2x, actually y is equal to mx plus b is the general form. Here is our example. First thing you want to do is identify your slope and identify your y-intercept. Okay, your y-intercept is your constant, and your slope is the coefficient that's attached to your x variable. So my slope is 2, and I'm going to write it as a fraction, because if you remember, you should remember, that slope is a rate of change, the steepness of a line, rise over run. All of those phrases mean the same thing as slope. Okay, so now let's get our piece of paper. And normally y'all know I don't use pen, but maybe to help show up. So here's number 1. I'm plotting, if you think about it, M and B. B comes first in the alphabet, so that's what I'm plotting. That's my initial point, my initial value. My y-intercept is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is my y-intercept. That's where I'm starting. Now I'm going to move my M, move my slope. And what this is, it's rise over run. So I'm going to rise to and run to the positive because it's positive. Okay. Now I like to plot one on one side and one on the other. Okay. So if I go up and right, the opposite is down and left, which makes an overall positive move, which then corresponds with our first one. So if I go up and right, then my next move would be down, to, and left. And there it falls on the line. You're going to use a ruler or some straight edge, and we're going to graph. Now you need, because this is different than the problems we did in class where we're not isolating or keeping, we have a constraint of just one quadrant, we need to extend our graph all the way through. So there's number 1. Okay. Remember, you can pause this at any time to give yourself some room to solve it before I do. Okay, so now my next equation is y is equal to negative 3/5 x minus 3. My slope, we're going to identify, is negative 3/5, and my y-intercept is my constant, which is a negative 3. So I'm going to plot negative 3 first because that's my initial value. Okay, now before we even graph, we're going to look at our slope, and our slope is negative. And we know that a negative sloping line is going to look like that. So if we go to graph and plot our points and it doesn't look like that, then we know we've made a mistake. So now, from my starting point, my slope is negative 3/5. So from here, I need a negative 3, a negative move, which means I'm going down 1, 2, 3, and 5 is positive to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So down and right represents a negative move. So if I go down and right to give me the point on this side, I go up and left. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then again, straight line extending all the way through my graph. And what this does, it takes my plane and cuts it into 2 half planes. I have a plane that's above and a half plane that's below. Okay, number 3. Okay, now, this equation, 2x plus 2y is equal to negative 12. This is in standard form. Your general form of standard is ax plus by equals c. So this is standard form. Before I can identify slope and y-intercept, I have to put it in slope-intercept form. Okay, and basically we're solving for y, which is what we did last unit, our literal equations. So I'm solving for y, so I need to get rid of 2x. So that gives me 2y is equal to negative 2x plus negative 12. I'm still not solved for y, so I divide everything by 2. So when I do that, negative over a negative over a positive is a negative 1x. I don't need the 1 there, but I'm going to keep it there just to have it. And then this gives me negative 6. Now that it's in slope-intercept form, I can identify my slope is negative 1 over 1, and my y-intercept is negative 6. So I go and I look, it's a negative slope, so again, I'm going in that direction. So go to my paper. I plot B first, which is negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I move negative 1 over 1. So I'm going down and then right 1. So that means I'm going, the opposite of down right would be up left. And then connect that all the way through. And there is my graph for that equation. Okay, next equation. Example number 4. Negative 6x minus 2y is equal to 4. This is in standard form. I need to write it in slope-intercept. So I need to get rid of 6x, negative 6x. Don't forget the negative. Divide by a negative 2. So y is equal to, this simplifies to negative 3x plus negative 2. My slope is negative 3 over 1. My y-intercept is negative 2. Again, another negative slope we know goes this way. Okay, so I go to plot it. And I'm plotting negative 2 first because that's my initial, my starting value. And then again, my slope was negative 3 over 1. So down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 1. Opposite of down and right is 1, 2, up and left. And again, if you graph it wrong, let me phrase that. If this graph doesn't match the direction of this, then you know you plotted incorrectly. Number 5. Okay, y is equal to 3x. This is in slope-intercept form. Okay, my slope is 3 over 1. My y-intercept is 0. I don't need to put this plus 0 there. Okay, I don't need this, but that is what it looks like. So here, my slope is positive, so we know it goes in that direction. My y-intercept is 0, the origin. So this graph goes through the origin. And starting at the origin, my slope, again, I need to move my paper over, was 3 over 1. It's positive, so I go up 3, right 1. Up and right, the opposite is down and left. Okay? Again, this all should have been a review with you. You did it last year, and again, we're going to be taking this and then adding to it. So please make sure that you understand this and you're ready to come to class to do an activity. You have a couple extra spots. So here are your try these. hope you guys have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow.